Hello and welcome to lecture number 1. In this lecture I'm going to show you how to model the base of the island, so let's get started. First I'm going to show you which functions we will use very often. So I'm going to go to Edit Mesh and I'm going to be using Extrude, I'm going to be using Insert Edge Loop Tool, and I'm going to be using the Merge function. You can go to the Custom tab from those tabs. Just click on the Custom tab, then go to Edit Mesh, hold on your keyboard Ctrl and Shift, and then click on Extrude. And it will create a shortcut in this toolbar. So I just created a shortcut for Extrude. I will be creating one more for Insert Edge Loop Tool. So again, hold Ctrl and Shift on your keyboard, click on Insert Edge Loop Tool, and click on Merge. So those three functions I'll be using in all the curves, and they are the main functions that I'm using to create a wall polymesh. So let's get started and let's start to model the base. So first, how I'm going to start, I'm going to go to create a polygon primitive and I'm going to create cube again. I'll be creating cubes a lot, so I click Ctrl and Shift, click on the icon. So I add it to my toolbar in the custom, and right now I can access it more often. So you click on create a polygon cube on the grid, click it once, and you'll be getting into creating the cube. I just drag to create the width and drag to create the height. And this is how we're gonna start. So I'm gonna move it to the center like that, and I'm gonna start splitting and moving. I'm gonna using a lot the face, the vertex, and the object modes. So let's start. I'm gonna shrink the base a little bit like that. I'm gonna move it. So if you're gonna look it like that, I'm gonna move it like this a little bit. I want to have like a little small form with which I'll start. Then I'm gonna choose the split tool and I'm gonna start splitting like that. One split, I'm gonna split second time, and this will be good. So I'm gonna select the faces right now, select those two faces, and I'm gonna select the extrude option. So right now I'm gonna extrude to my right, like a little bit, let's say a little bit like that. Then I'm gonna select this face, extrude, move it a little bit further, because I want to create an edge here, like a hole in the island, and it will look cool. I'm gonna keep selecting this face and keep extruding 2 more times. One more extrude, and I'm gonna select right now the bottom faces. So I want to close the hole in the island like that. I click the extrude and just move it like that, like this. So right now I have a little hole in the island. It's a little bit too far, and I want to make it a little bit like not big as this. So I'm gonna select those vertices and I'm gonna move it like that. So I have a little shore, a little hole in the shore, and I'm gonna keep making interesting forms. So I'm gonna keep splitting right now. So I'm gonna split one more time over here, and I'm gonna split one more time over here, because I want to make a little bit of edge. I'll be selecting this face and this face, and I'm gonna extrude a little bit like that, and I'm gonna extrude again from this face So I have a pretty interesting shape over here. You can see like some nice edges. So this will do for our right side of the island. I think it's okay-ish right now. We'll tweak it as we go along. So this is not a final thing, you know. So right now I'm gonna do the left side. The technique is the same. I'm gonna select those faces. I want to have symmetry over here. As you can see, I'll select those faces. I'll extrude. So I create this shape, this one. You see, it's kind of nice. And what I'm going to do right now is extend the island to this part. So how I'm going to do it, because I want to be more interesting, I'll just select those two faces in the bottom, and I'm gonna click again extrude. I'm gonna pull them. I'm gonna extrude a second time. Then right now I'm gonna select the bottom of those extruded faces, those two faces, and again I'm gonna extrude, but I'll make them like, I'll lengthen them a lot further from the base of this island, so we have some interesting shape. And to make it more interesting, I'll select this face, and again I'm gonna extrude. So as you can see, we started to have a really nice shape, like interesting one, and it's not complicated at all. You just try and make some forms, and that's the basics of the low poly world. So I don't like this. It has a lot of symmetry. I'm just gonna make it like that. Maybe those two, like those. I'm gonna select this like this. And I'm gonna move it a little. I missed one, sorry. And I'm gonna move it a little bit like this because I didn't like the form on there. So this is our first piece of island. Right now I want to make another one which will fill up this gap. So I'm gonna use the cube option that we've created, and I'm gonna drag like this. You see that the height is different, so I'm gonna move to my side view and make the height the same. Then I'm gonna select the vertices, and I'm gonna move them at the bottom. So the height to be the same from this piece of island to this piece of island. This is very important because when we make the bridge and the buildings, it should be like the same. Of course, you can be creative, you can make different heights, but you should, you know, model a little bit more logically the bridge and the buildings. It's okay. If you want, you can do it. Right now, I'm gonna fill up this gap. I'm gonna do it like this. So I'm gonna split again over here and over here. So I have two splits. I'm gonna select the top face, and I'm gonna extrude it like that. I prefer to be small, like this, like this. So it's okay-ish. And right now I'm gonna extrude along this side, but again I'm gonna split it a little bit because, you know, I want some interesting shapes. So I'll select those two faces. I'm gonna click again on the extrude option. I'm gonna extrude a little bit over here. I'm gonna extrude one more time to this edge. And right now I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna extrude like this. I want to make it a little bit further from the previous island, so I want to be like more interesting like that. So this is looking good. I'm gonna extrude right now to the bottom, from the bottom, and let's go make this extrusion. I want to create a little G shape, you know, a little edge again over here. So what I'm going to do is select those faces and just delete them. And I have a shape like this. Right now I have two holes over here because I don't have faces. So how I'm going to connect them is select edge, select this edge, select this edge. I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to extrude them to the bottom. Then, this is very important, I'm going to go to vertices, and as you can see, I'll show you, you have two vertices which are split and they're not together. So I'm going to use the merge option that we've created, merge vertices, and you see they're like one. I'm going to repeat over here, and it's closed. So I think this is too much, so I'm gonna bring it like this, move it a little bit so to the upper side, and right now I'm going to do interesting shapes at the bottom. So I'm gonna split again like this. I'm gonna select those faces, for example. I'm gonna extrude them, move them a little bit down, and right now I'm gonna extrude this one like that, so I can create this shape. I don't like the big hole over here, so I'll just make that. I want like to be more like this, and you have your connecting islands. And I'm gonna tweak the shape a little bit because we need space for the bridge in the next tutorial. Something like this, yeah, I kind of like it. Right now what we need to do is add a little bit more details, like some floating islands. So I'll create again a cube. I'm just gonna push it a little bit down like this, and I'm gonna start fill up my scene with all those little cubes. Just be creative, find the best spot you think it's the logical one. I'll make one more here, a bigger one, just like that. I want to have one more here, maybe like a little bit small. This should be a little bit small too, like that. And I'll fill up with one more floating cube over here. It can be like a little bit like that, maybe something like that. Okay, I kind of like it. Those are kind of short, so I'll just make it like that. I want to have like deeper edge inside the water. So I think this is the island. We'll be tweaking it in the progress, so don't worry. Right now what we need to do is to create the water beneath the island. So I'm gonna select those meshes, all of them, and I'm gonna go to mesh combine. So I'll combine all the meshes in one, and I'm gonna click Control and D, or if you are using a Mac, it's Command and D, which will duplicate the mesh. So I have another mesh like this, and right now I'm gonna make it more tall. I'm gonna push it a little bit down, and I'm gonna scale it like that, something like this. Move it a little bit down because I'll be using isometric camera. That's why I'm observing the scene from this view. Right now I don't like how this is placed, so I'll just select the geometry. I'm just double clicking on it. Just double click and you'll be selecting it. Just double click over here. I'll be moving it a little bit down because this is like too much inside of our previous. You can see I just double click and I select the whole mesh. Just move it a little bit down. I like it how it is right now. I just don't like this one. I'll move it a little bit down. It's okayish, and we will be tweaking this when we import into Unity. So this is the basics of how I've created the base of the island. It's quite easy. It takes some time. You just need to be creative, as the idea of where to put those islands, how to make the shapes. Just be creative. Just try to make different forms than mine. And I've put a task, like a homework. You should create 3 different shapes of this. So be creative. You can make them like a long island, or just 3 pieces of small, or whatever you want. Just be creative and try to create your own base of the island. So this is for this lecture, and I'll be waiting you in the next one.